Hey guys, I'm back. Hope you're doing well. Can you believe I have a third video? I cannot. It's crazy and I'm excited. So this video is actually going to be the Book Noob tag that was originally done by AsToldbyJohely, who is one of my besties. If you don't follow her, please check out her channel. I love her so much. She's sassy. She is my Latina Luna to this paper white Ginny. I just love her so much and I want to give her all of the good things in the world, so check her out. This tag will be fairly similar to the new to booktube tag that I did in my first, but it's got a little bit of a twist. Some of the answers will be a little bit similar, so I apologize, but I wanted to really support my best friend and do her book tag. So let's start her off. Very first question is, why did you decide to join BookTube? And the lady who created this tag is the reason that I am doing BookTube. She put me over the edge. She gave me the courage that I needed to do it, and so now here I am on BookTube. Thank you, Joelle, for giving me that courage. It's something I've always wanted to do, and your support has really made it possible, so thank you. Second question is, what does your channel name mean? Well, my channel name is Janine the Reading Queen. My name is Janine. I picked the Reading Queen because it rhymes. I'm not so pretentious as to think that I'm royalty in any way, but Janine the Reading Queen, I wanted something that reflected me, what I do, what I'm going to do on this channel. I may branch out in the future and not have just reading. I might have writing or art, but reading is my main focus, and that's why I am what I am. The next question is, what new and unique things will you bring to BookTube? I'm a very positive person. I'm very upbeat. I love to make jokes. I sometimes can use swear words, so I apologize in advance. I think I'm very real. Let's try that again. I am a promoter of people. I believe in your well-being. I believe that you are awesome the way you are, and I believe that everyone deserves to be lifted up. So in addition to being funny and salty and crazy and redheaded, I also plan on bringing you things that will lift you up. Next question is, what genres will you be talking about on this channel? If you saw my really weird second video with my August TBR, you'll know that everything is free game on this channel. So it will be any types of books that I come across. Actually, on these shelves, I have a bunch of like unread shelves and just kind of my favorites. So it will be a mixture of finding those new books, those new loves, or, you know, books I don't really like as much, and revisiting old favorites and seeing what they have to offer. So everything is open. Genre, though, specifically, I really like classics. I really like fantasy. I'm not huge into contemporary necessarily, but I do like general adult fiction. So it'll be hopefully a nice mix. Right now it'll probably be fantasy heavy just because that's what's backlisted on my to be read list. What are your top 5 favorite books? I gotta get some material for this. Okay, so I'm kind of cheating because one of these is a compilation, but that's fine. So the first book that I have is Tess of the D'Urbervilles by Thomas Hardy. I read this in my English AP class a million years ago because it was my English teacher's favorite book and she was my favorite English teacher, and just wow, this book is so powerful. There is content warning for implied rape, for really hard societal double standards. But honestly, I just love this book so much. So, Tess of the D'Urbervilles, for one. And it's a classic. Second up is another classic. It is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. Oh, God. This is probably, again, another book that I read for my AP English class and just adored it. I saw myself in Scout so much when I was growing up. And just the message is so incredibly powerful. If you haven't read this book, why? Oh my gosh, like it's just so good, so good. Next up, I have a more contemporary piece. It's adult fiction, and it is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr, or however you say his name. I don't even know where to start with this book. It is so freaking good. Just how complex and how he weaves all the stories in together about people who are living through the Second World War is just so good. It's so heartbreaking and so very real. So highly recommend this book. Next up, I have Persuasion by Jane Austen. 3 of my books on this list are classics. Like, honestly, I just love the classics so much. Persuasion was one I actually just read this year in 2019 for the first time, and I did not expect to love it as much as I did. It was just so mature, and you could see how Jane Austen had aged in a good way in her writing, and just this copy is so like it's written all over. As I was reading it, I just adored this book, and I read it with 2 of my best friends, so I think that made it even more special. So that's the 4th. So the last book is technically a compilation. It is the His Dark Materials trilogy by Philip Pullman. That is comprised of The Golden Compass, or The Northern Lights if you have the UK edition, The Subtle Knife, and The Amber Spyglass. This series is probably the best series of all time that I have ever read. In the past, you wouldn't have heard me say that, but having reread it and actually going to reread it again in August of 2019, it's just so complex and so well built, and it deals with so many heavy themes. I really love books that, like, I like light books, but this book is really not heavy, but it really delves into some deeper societal and kind of themes, and I love it so much. It's gritty, it has characters that you just absolutely grow to love, it has villains that are very gray, and you can see why they've done what they've done, and I can't recommend this book enough to anyone, ever. Okay, so those are my 5 favorite books. The next question is, where do you enjoy reading? Here. This is my reading chair. I have been in love with this chair for years. There's a whole backstory to the chair, which maybe one day I will get into, but it's so comfy, and I just love curling up in a bunch of different positions and reading. So this is my spot, but I will read anywhere. If I have to read outside, I obviously need sunscreen, so I tend not to do that a lot. There has to be a breeze blowing, otherwise I'll be way too warm. But just wherever I can read is a great place to read. Next up, we have a Bookish This or That Joely put together. Her first one is paperback or hardback. I am a paperback person. I do have hardbacks and I enjoy them, but there's just nothing beats a big old floppy paperback book that's just so well worn and well loved. The next is fantasy or contemporary. Not a huge contemporary person, so it will be fantasy for me on this one. Next, she asked backlist books or new releases. Guys, I am like the worst with new releases. I sometimes know when things are coming out if I manage to hear about them. So for me, it will always be the backlisted TBR. Library or bookstore. Currently, where I am in life right now, it will be the library. One of the ways that I add to my collection, and this isn't like a sermon, so you don't have to do this. This is just how I do it, but for me, where I am in my life right now, I will take out books from the library first, read them. If I love them, then I will add them to my collection. If I don't love them, then I don't add them. I find that it helps me to save money, which is very important. As I said in my last 2 videos, my husband and I are moving, so we really need all the pennies that we can save at this point. But it also just ensures that whatever my collection is going to be going forward, it's going to be something that I love and that I'm proud to share with other people. So, next is series or standalone. I don't have a preference. I really love how you can get totally caught up in a series and follow it for so many books and learn and love more about your characters. But standalones can be super powerful too. Like, look at the classics. They are just usually one book, it's set, it's done. So I don't have a preference when it comes to series or standalone. Next is tropes. So enemies to lovers or friends to lovers. I am such enemies to lovers trash. It is ridiculous. I don't know. There's something about thinking that you don't like a person and then just changing. I also think that that just comes from me as a person. So I've never been someone who's like interested in my friend and then wanted to pursue them. It's always been like people who have known at a distance. So I'm also just really sassy. So I think like the sassiness that comes along with enemies to lovers is awesome and I live for it. So the next is villain to hero or hero to villain. That's a tough one. I don't think I have a preference. As long as it's done well and it's complex and it's like meaty, I'm so in. So it doesn't matter which way they go, I'm here for it. So, last is love triangle or insta-love. I hate insta-love. I was a teenager who believed in insta-love. And I don't hate myself for it, but I just shake my head at myself as a young person every day. So it's gonna be love triangle for me. Because even though they can be cringe, I'd rather have that than insta-love. Alright, and the last question that we have is, what are some challenges you think you will face in BookTube? I talked about this in my first video. Technical side of things is something I'm really gonna have to get more confident doing. How to market myself on BookTube and all of the various social media channels. And then also just like being consistent in doing videos. I think I'm probably gonna try and do filming in batches so that I will always have content. I just have to go through and edit it. But I know that as I go through, I will kind of get more confident and go from there. So thank you for tuning in to video number 3. It has been a whirlwind. I cannot believe that I have done this many videos so far. I am so excited and nervous to be on BookTube. Let me know what your favorite books are. Have you read any of the books that I've read before? Let me know. I would love to talk to you about them. Yeah, when I have favorites, I go off about those favorites. So I hope you will be willing to have a new best friend if you've read any of those books. If you want to read about them and talk to me, please reach out. I would love that so much. I am here to get to know you guys, and I can't wait to do that. So thank you so much for tuning in, and go buy my precious... sorry, that was a subliminal message. Where did that come from? Anyway, bye. Thanks so much. Have a great day.